One thing I've noticed here lately, Kevin, is, and you and I were talking about before we hit the record button, is you were talking about that you've seen, like, during the last, gosh, 3, 4 years, I guess it's been, as businesses trickle down, a lot of people you were saying have, because you talk to a lot of the high producing, larger teams, company owners, branch managers of big teams, district managers, that a lot of people have scaled back their team. And then when it's time to ramp back up, they go, "Oh, geez, I don't have the team that I used to," and I find myself getting, I start to ramp up, and then I have to close the loans that I ramped up, and so I'm having that roller coaster effect. How big of a problem is that? Are you seeing a lot of that?
Seeing a lot of it. If you think about it, business is picking back up,
Yeah.
and the loans the last couple of years have been harder. So some of our
Mm.
ops team haven't been doing as much volume. They've also been working from home, maybe than from in the office, and
Hmm.
we're seeing that a lot of people they're hiring folks, and they'll give them a job description, and here's our program or here's our technology, and but the workflow isn't going good, and the result is then the loan officer gets sucked back into solving problems, and then they're out. A lot of people could be producing more if their operations were going smooth enough so that the LO could stay out and make more calls. Simple as
Mm.
that. It sounds oversimplified, but it's really true.
Yeah, well, and you're right. I have seen, like, we've seen a major bump up. Like, I just got some notes here. I was talking to some people. I got a guy, Jay Adderstrom. He took 10 applications last week, and I get it to on your side where you got these big companies like that. That might not be a big number, but you know, for Jay it is. Or
Sure.
who was it? I was talking a little earlier. Jim Yarrington
Mm-hmm.
said he got 7 referrals over the weekend.
Yeah.
And Kelly Collins, she said she had 11, 11 leads came in last week, and then eight more came in so far this week, and it was Tuesday. So like by Monday, Tuesday, she had another 8 leads. So things are definitely. Jill Satterfield had 9 closings for March. So things are definitely looking up.
All of our people
Um,
are showing the same results. Their business is picking up, but we're starting to see almost like back at COVID where we didn't have enough help. I don't know that we don't have enough help, but you can tell the time and attention to mapping out
mhm,
workflows, setting standards, and then
mhm.
how to solve problems and regularly communicate has not been enforced like it should have to keep, because it made as volumes coming up, you want this team working like a NASCAR pit crew, right?
Yeah, and I
They
know
got to have
NASCAR
their
pit
act
crews.
together.
I know NASCAR pit crews. Dude, did I tell you? Did I tell you that I wrote a loan for the front tire changer for Dale Jr., back when Dale
No, how
Jr. was
cool is
driving?
that?
I did. I wrote a loan for the front tire changer of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit crew. And dude, I so screwed it up. Like I screwed up my initial conversation when I was so enamored, like I was starstruck, and because I'm a huge NASCAR fan, I never knew what those guys got paid. And one of the cool things about our profession is we get to find out what other people make. So I asked him. I said, "So how much you get? How much you get paid?" And he said 90,000. Before I even thought about it, I said, "You get paid $90,000 to change tires, right?"
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you were
And
impressive.
yeah, as soon as I said that, I went, "Oh dear God, that, that was the worst bedside manner ever." And he said, "No, I get paid 90,000 to change it in 3.4 seconds." Yes, you do. So anyway,
That's
so do you find like as things start to ramp up, do you find some loan officers are a little hesitant to add to the team, thinking, well, what if this is short term and maybe I'm just having a lucky month or that kind of thing? Or are loan officers kind of a little shy to get help?
branch managers. They don't want to be laying people off again. How long is this
Mhm.
going to last? The war isn't helping right now,
Yeah.
right? Because,
Hmm.
well, and people, they tend to go to the worst place rather than I think
Yeah.
the next couple of years will be great. But if you were a loan officer, you want to do this. But if you're a manager, if you're listening to this, you need to find a way to set the standards in the process. And there's all sorts of things that we constantly need to be refining and training our teams on, whether it be product, scripting. How should they ask
Hmm.
for the business? How do they handle emails? Some ops team people, they just want to send an email and be done with it. No, a lot of the things you're going to have to call on, and how do you make that call, and how do you deliver good or bad news? Don't you think that's important training that all our ops
I
people
do.
need to have?
I do. And where I was getting to on the hesitation thing, just for a minute, is if you ride the brakes, you'll burn your engine up.
Ooh,
You
back to
know,
NASCAR. That's good.
back to NASCAR. Yep. Well, see, I'm an expert at this. I have written a loan for the front tire
Well, you.
changer, and I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night. So, yeah, I think when people go, well, what if this is lucky? I don't think there's any luck in anything we do, right? It's the actions that you take. If you take action, it's going to build up, and if you have some forward momentum, my gosh, don't throw water on it. Let's throw some gasoline on it. So all right. So we go bring on that first person. So what are the things you think you just mentioned that I need to like think of
I
here?
think everybody, and it's almost got to be a group training too. And with training, of course, we're in the training business, but
Yeah.
I think people make the mistake of, well, we shared that with them, and we trained them. No, you shared something with them once,
Yeah.
right? And it takes the average person about 7 to 10 times to really
Yeah.
start to get it. So, what's the repetition and consistency and regularity of the training? And you could break it down. Product. We have all sorts of checklists we use. And by the way, with our group, and you know this, we've started a once a quarter where all our people in coaching, they can send their ops team in for training, and they like that because
Mm-hmm.
we help reinforce what they need to be doing with their teams.
Mm-hmm.
But training, how to use checklists, what do you do if you're working from home? There's a lot of advantages taken
Mm-hmm.
with that. So how do you set standards when people are not right underneath your nose?
Mm-hmm.
How do you rate the team? How do you rank? Do you regularly rank them, how they're performing, and then give them quality feedback? How do you solve problems? I mean, there's a lot to be trained, but if you're a manager that's running, say, a branch, and you got a team and a bunch of loan officers, it's important, and we do sales training for loan officers, but you can't forget the rest of the team. You got to train them and teach them and stand just as much. I think is.
Mm-hmm. What we got a few minutes to talk about like working remote versus not as far as like our help goes.
Yeah, sure.
What what do you think about that? Like, there's pros and cons to the remote thing of our team. What's your thoughts on that?
I've got a couple of different thoughts, and it's a little bit mixed. One, obviously, how they work from home depends on the person. There are some people, they will be more efficient. There's others, they need to be in the office to be held
Yeah.
accountable, because you
Mhm.
will be talking to a team member on the phone, and they're supposed to be working, and you can hear the kids in the playground in the back,
Yeah.
or they went, and so you got to really set some standards. How do they look? If they're going to be at home, they got to be on a camera so you can see them. There's all sorts of little things you can do and
Mhm.
standards you can
Mhm.
make. But I really think it's on the individual. I always liked in the office. Again, I'm old school, because the challenge that's lost when people are working from home, one of the
Okay.
best setups we ever did, and we did it several times, is we created pods where we sat, instead of having different departments like a processing department, a closing department, and an underwriting department, we would take an underwriter, a couple of processors, and a closer, and
And
maybe
put them together.
and put them together, and then they could communicate. They were responsible
Mhm.
for the team. And it's amazing how they hear each other. There's a lot of learning that just
Passive,
goes through osmosis, isn't it?
yeah, passive learning.
Just,
Mhm.
yeah, that goes on. And I think we
Mhm.
lose some of that when they're not in the office. So,
Mhm.
man, the more you can get them in the office, the better off you'll be. Doesn't mean everybody has to, and you might
Yeah,
get better cost, but yeah, it's
yeah,
really
I agree with every point you made there. It's very valid. The challenge for me has been like when things are good, we got a big team, and then things get skinny, which our definition of skinny is not real skinny, but when things drop some, and sometimes they do,
yeah.
um, now I got all this extra room I'm paying for the next 2 years, and yeah, I don't know. There's pluses and minuses to it. It's I think both can work, I guess is what I'm saying. And certainly to start with, I think the remote is a great way to start. That way I don't have to, well, let me go get my office suite and take on that expense at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
But every team member, whether you're on location or not, needs to understand what their job is, how they fit into the process, and how important their role is, and if they don't do their role right, how it affects the
Hmm.
rest of the process in the team.
Hmm.
Because, man, if your example, the NASCAR tire changer, man, he didn't have to miss much, could throw a whole race,
And,
right?
and the whole team
And
loses.
and
Hmm.
the same thing with our team members.
Hmm.
Everybody's important,
Hmm.
but this is really interesting. I had heard this several years ago. Most people on a team like that, 70% of them don't know what the objectives of the company are, and they
Hmm.
don't understand how they fit into those objectives. And so people always feel it's kind of me against the company. And the truth is, man, you want them to feel part of the team. You want them to feel on
Hmm.
board. But at the same time, whether it's NASCAR or the football or, March Madness, everybody needs to know what each other's doing and how they fit in, and they've got to execute.
Hmm. Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tip so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
Feel free
Mhm.
to.
So where do we go with that information?
I'm just putting it out there that any manager, if you're a manager, especially or LO, get with your managers and start working out how you're going to train them, how you're going to map it out, how you're going to set standards, how you're going to kind of judge whether or not they're doing their job, how you're going to correct them and get them up to the next level. So, and we'd be happy to share how we train it and how we show. And so, if anybody's interested and wants to brainstorm on it, they can reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to have a
How
discussion.
would they reach out to you?
Probably the best way to schedule something is www.profitdrivenplan.com.
Profitdrivenplan.com.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you won't go very far without a good team, you know. So I just finished taking 9 days off. I literally didn't check one email, and gosh, things are clicking along just fine. It hurt my feelings a little bit, It
Yeah.
hurt my feelings a little bit,
You're not
I,
needed
I
as
come
much.
back, I go, all right, let me dig you out of all this mess. What do we got? Well, we're doing fine. Oh, are you? How many closing team doing? Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Funny how that
But let
works.
me ask you an opposite question. How many
Tell me.
times, not you, right? Because you're the master of this. How many times do you hear of people, and it's not one particular company or a broker versus an independent mortgage bank, it's kind of across the board.
For
How many
sure.
times do you hear managers or loan officers saying, man, can get more business, but I got to stay up on top of my loans because my team's not executing?
I hear that a fair amount.
Yeah.
Or I have to go double check.
Yeah.
And anytime I hear the double checking, I think either A, do you really have to double check? So do you have a you issue?
Right.
or do you have a team issue that you really do have to go check? I find it probably runs about 50-50. About half the time it's their fear of letting go. And about half the time they've got a damn good reason for having the fear of letting go, because it's on the trapeze without a net, sometimes if your team doesn't have the right training and who's doing what and what to do and how do you assign things to who does what and what's your double check systems and how do you know if somebody's not stepping up to the task, what do you do then? Do you retrain them? Do you replace them? Like, what does that look like? And without clear guidance, hell, nobody knows, nobody knows where to go anyway. It's like a Sandlot football game as opposed to the NFL.
Yeah.
Sandlot, everybody just runs off in direction, hope somebody will throw or block or something. They don't even know. In the NFL, they got a plan, they got a
You
playbook.
got it. 100%.
So
Absolutely.
cool. So what's on the radar, man?
Um, Man, business is growing. Things are going well. Coaching's going well. Our people in leadership coaching, man, they're having some record months that they haven't seen in several years. So it's all
Yeah.
good. But
Are you
I'm
seeing
not
most?
saying it's easy, but the business is there if you're working it right.
And let me tell you something. Getting wealthy, it's hard. Anybody gets sold. Oh, no, it is. It's hard. Like it's hard. It's hard to become rich. It's hard or
Yeah.
wealthy. I prefer wealth over
But
rich.
it's worth
It is it is underrated. I'm going to tell you. It is. It doesn't solve all problems, but it makes most problems a lot easier. A lot
100%.
easier. Yeah, it's nice not to have that extra component on top of it. But it is. Yeah, I think anybody thinks all this stuff. That success and making good money and having a good retirement plan and money put away so that work becomes optional. Anybody sells you the bill of goods that, oh, this is a piece of cake, just send out this email, send out this video, make this post or whatever, and the business rolls in. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
To that point, I think that during COVID, where rates
Yeah,
were ultra low, never
yeah,
see it again, right?
yeah.
A lot of people got into our business thinking just that, oh, this is an easy way to get rich. And
Mm.
thank goodness most of them are gone now, right? We're getting
I'd
back to normal
I,
because the
I'd
people
say all
working
of them
it,
are gone.
yeah,
I think
but the
all of them are
people who
gone.
are willing to work it, like you said, it takes
Hmm.
work. They're doing pretty darn good. And
Yep.
so, yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually, if you look at how many loans in America are closed versus how many loan officers, this is a great time. So there's per capita of loan officers, like the market share that's available to the loan officers that's left after we had, I call it the Great Flood, that
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that to be funny, but the way it washed out, those that thought they could just, I don't know, be when I say cute, I don't mean physically, but like in their
yeah,
mannerisms, they could be cute and loans get poured in. Those people are gone, and so the
yeah,
people that's left, which is frankly a small percentage of what was here at one time. The amount of loans available per loan officer is a lot. We saw the same thing for those of us been doing this for a while. The great flood of '08, '09, '10, probably on into 11. Gosh, those of us are left behind that stuck with it. Gosh, we had some of our best years ever, because again, there weren't as many loan officers to close the deals that was happening. So even if the deals were down as a whole number per loan officer, it was up, because we had
yeah,
gotten rid of we'd flushed a lot of them out.
yeah.
So it's a great business, man. Where else? Where else do you know that you can just get one more customer per week? You got 40 hours to bring in one new customer, one additional customer, right? That'd be 4 loans a month. And I'm just going to use a number of $3,000 per closing, which actually is probably a little on the low side these days on average. So $3,000 per closing, an extra 12 grand. We make an extra 12
100%.
grand a month
That's
by bringing in,
144 a year. That's pretty good
yeah,
living just
by
from that
bringing
one.
in one extra, uh,
What if you brought in two?
Go figure. Wait, stop that crazy talk. Stop that. I mean, really, it'd be like over $250,000 raise by bringing on two. So it's
Yeah,
just it just never ceases to amaze me on really how. again, I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say it's simple, but but with a little guidance, a little elbow grease, um, it's a major change. I got a friend of mine that's in the school system, and he's going. What is he going? He's going. It's either his master's or his doctorate. I can't remember what. I think it's his master's. And I said, "Awesome, man. Well, good for you, right?" And it is. It is. I'm, proud of him.
That's great.
And he said, "Yeah." He said, "When I finish this, I get like a seven grand, or maybe it was eight, 7 or 8 grand raise." And and I'm proud of him, right? That's good for him. But I thought, dang, for us to make an 8,000, we can make an $8,000 raise a month with just a couple more closings, right?
Yep.
Just a couple more, a little bit more prospecting, or having Bob on my team to help me out, so I can spend more time prospecting, less time putting out fires. That my buddy, he would go, he'd go crazy to get eight more loans, or $8,000 more per month. And and he's going to go to school for 2 years, getting his master's, and something that's not going to be easy, right? That's a lot of hard work for 2 years, to even make that happen. And I think that's great that he's doing that, right? And I'm not demanding what he's doing, but it just really puts a flashlight on, brother. We are in a phenomenal business,
Yeah. I
you
just
know.
got off a small group coaching call. People Paul Dolan, Marty,
Yeah,
right, Tom Calgar, these type of
yeah.
folks, and
How come you get all the good ones, man? You get all the good
and
ones.
I tell you what, I think on average they were closing about 10 loans a month each. Pretty good living.
Pretty good living.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
good
mean, a
living. Again,
couple
you
of them doing multiple of that.
no, I get it. I get it. And some of them make
But
$6,000 and $7,000 per closing, as opposed to $3,000 per closing. But
yeah,
yeah, it's even in the harshest of times, it's like, well, gee, I was making 50,000 a month, and now I'm only making 30. Oh, it's a tragedy.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
dude, it's $30,000 a month. I
yeah.
saw I saw a thing, with the recent, the TSA funding, and the long lines at the airport and everything. Did you know that the average TSA agent makes about $40,000 a year?
Yeah, and you imagine the abuse those poor people put up with.
I was thinking that, it's like, I mean, here's the people, keeping us safe, from
Yeah,
the airplanes, right? But we're in a rush, and me too, right? Get in a rush, and you do this, and you do that, and they're sitting there at a gate for 8 hours watching people go by, doing an important job, but it's not a lot of heavy lifting in it.
well, now they're doing it without getting paid. So,
And now they're doing it without getting paid. Hey, let me tell you something. So I'm getting ready to travel. I'm bringing a gift card with me. I am.
man, you should. I tell
I'm
you what, I
bringing.
was watching on TV this morning. They were showing different airports in the lines. I don't have any trips planned for the next 2 weeks. I'm
Yeah,
hoping things get resolved by then.
yeah, yeah. And again, this is not a statement of should they resolve it, should they not, who should or who shouldn't. I'm talking about the good old
The worker,
faithful, hardworking Americans, that's
agree.
doing their job right,
Yeah.
and I was just amazed. Hell, I thought all government jobs paid $100,000, right? I have no idea that these poor guys and gals, are. And so if average is 40, that means some are 30,
Yeah.
and I just thought, gee whiz, that,
Wow.
what a
I had
great
no idea
career.
it was at that level.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I
That
like your
was,
gift card. I like your gift
yeah.
card.
And when I say
Just
I'm bringing,
just make sure you don't get arrested for bribing an officer.
yeah, it's not for the local weed store. Okay. I'm just going out there. It's not, no, I'm not going to say what it's for, but it's for something that everybody, actually, it's a gas card. So I'm taking some
That's a
gas
good deal.
gift cards, which
That's
in
a
the
good deal.
beginning it would have paid for a tank and a half, and now it's like it'll pay for half a tank at least, but anyway, so cool. Hey, what was that? If somebody wants to get more information about building a team, what was that site again?
ProfitDrivenPlan.com.
Profitdrivenplan.com. Cool. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, friend. It's always good to visit with you. Good to see you.
All right, go hook up with Kevin. I hooked up with Kevin. I don't know how long it's been. It's been years now. one of the best moves I've done. Learned so much from him. So go check him out, profitdrivenplan.com. And we'll talk to you when you call in, and we'll see you on the next episode of Loan Officer Freedom. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye bye.